What a time to be alive, Patriots. Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from the heart of America, where we deliver unfiltered truth straight to millions worldwide on YouTube, plus our freedom fighters on Rumble, Facebook, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Before we dive into today's explosive news, let me remind you, if you want to show off your favorite news source, you got to check out our merch shop. Yeah, and don't forget to download the Next News Network app. Android users, hit the Google Play Store. iPhone users, in the App Store. Breaking news 24/7, exclusive content, never miss a story that matters. Now listen up. We're doing something different here. What sets the Raw Feed apart is we're not just talking at you, we're talking with you. So send in those super chats and Rumble rants right now, even before the show begins. I can see already we've got $30 already in super chats. Who are the people who are here? James Fay and Hot Rod Mike. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yes, we will show them on screen for the whole world to see. This is your show, your voice, and your platform. So share the stream via text message and bypass big tech censorship. X viewers, repost it to your followers now. If you're watching on Facebook, hit share. And hit those donation links below if you want to support us privately. And for exclusive perks, join the YouTube channel memberships program. Special acknowledgement in the chat, behind-the-scenes uploads, and access to our members-only 24/7 Discord. Now, on this day in history, October 9th, 1974, President Richard Nixon's former Attorney General John Mitchell was convicted of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and lying under oath in the Watergate scandal. The nation watched as the highest law enforcement official in America fell from grace, proving that even those who wield the sword of justice can fall upon it. Speaking of October 9th, a special shout out to Brett Siegel, the brother of our amazing producer, Todd Siegel. Brett is celebrating his birthday today. Brett, you held down the fort and filled in for me while I was at NATO. That's what I call a true patriot. Happy birthday, brother. Hope you're watching the show. 51 years later, though, almost to the day, another attorney general facing her reckoning. LETITIA James, the woman who turned prosecuting Trump into a personal crusade, has been indicted by a federal grand jury for mortgage and bank fraud. The hunter has become the hunted. The empire is striking back. But James' indictment is just the tip of the iceberg crumbling across blue America. In Chicago, federal troops patrol the streets as Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson stare down potential 20-year prison sentences for obstructing ICE operations. The president's words echo across the nation. The governor knew, the mayor knew, that is a criminal offense. Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer's government shutdown has morphed from political hardball into a national emergency. While he brags that every day gets better for us, air traffic controllers are walking off the job, leaving 16,000 flights delayed and families stranded coast to coast. Our military working without pay while patriots fight back with viral sombrero memes, turning Democrat arrogance into the rise of the memes. Yet amidst the chaos, President Trump has achieved what decades of diplomats called impossible: ending the war in Gaza, bringing home every single hostage. Even his fiercest critics at ABC News called it remarkable. Senator Fetterman, a Democrat, leading the charge to award Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. And in California, Katie Porter's gubernatorial campaign has imploded in a cascade of abuse scandals. Leaked videos of her berating staff and horrifying statements calling, well, a certain thing an identity. The woman that Democrats hoped would save California from Newsom's failures has become an even bigger disaster. Tonight, we're connecting all the dots. From the New York courtrooms to Chicago streets, from grounded planes to freed hostages, from Sacramento meltdowns to Nobel nominations. The entire political establishment is in free fall, and we are here to document every shocking second. This is the Raw Feed, where truth meets power, where your voice matters, and where the revolution will be live streamed. Let's welcome you to the show. Tyson Curie, Mrs. Pothead Kenny, Blessed Mess, Sure You Gospel in the house, Native Texan Cindy, Michael Cheney. Fetterman left the Democrat Party? Is that official? What? Did he really? We need to check that. Someone look into that, would you? Bobby Riesling's here. Mr. Cluck is here. Sean Sean, how do you even say that? Sean Gunk? I'll just say Sean Gunk. James Serry's here. Hot Rod Mike, Tracy Hicks, the one and only Ron the Don, Signe Tupan, Kirk Kane, Gen X, Running Bear, Michael Rice, Richard August, Steel. Wow, it's coming in fast. Sicilian Boogeyman, Louisiana, Deb Noble, Diane Smith, Salty Pure Blood, Lai Heng, Duplicate, Mrs. Podhead, Kenny, Evan, and Vicky, and Rick, and John, and RP Colossus, Michael Cheney, Jennifer Gray, Michael Jones, Bill's Rules, Jacqueline Jeffrey, Kim Weig. The gang is filing in, guys. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate that. Robert, what's up? Running Bear, Inbred Outlook, Ginger, and Mary, and Marnie, and Rose, and Native Texan, and Sue, and Rusty's here, and V, and RP. All you guys showing the love in the chat room. Keep those chats flowing. What happened? Something happened. Okay, so did something else come through here? What? So, okay, so now we're at $35. You know the goal every night is $100. Got to pay the bills around here. So Hot Rod Mike dropped a 20 spot. Inbred Outlook dropping 5. Duplicate dropping 5 memberships. Yay. And if you see me touching my head tonight, it's because I've got a mild headache. I took some ibuprofen and had some caffeine, so hopefully that will help. So I'm going to try my best to get through this show tonight and give you all that Gary can. We got some breaking news to get into because it's time to party. The political earthquake everyone said would never happen just shook America to its core in a stunning double strike against Democrat corruption. Federal prosecutors have moved against 2 of the party's most powerful figures. What started as whispers in Washington has exploded into headlines that nobody saw coming. From the courtrooms of New York to the streets of Chicago, the untouchable elite are discovering that their immunity has expired. The same justice system they weaponized is now turned against them. The evidence is so damning, even their media allies can't spin it away. This is the day that the tables were turned. So keep on watching. But did you know that gold has gone mainstream? You're seeing it everywhere, and prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's simple and safe and built for the long run? That's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Noble Gold specialists are trained to help investors like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it is their commitment. Visit the link down below, nextnewsgold.com, to claim your free wealth protection kit and find out if you qualify for that silver bonus. Nextnewsgold.com, Noble Gold, helping you build a stronger future. Or you can just give them a call, 877-646-5347. My guy, Colin, tell him I said hello. Would you, please? All right, so let's get into the breaking news. Right before broadcast, this went down. And I'm sure it was an awkward moment at CNN, too. Not just the fact that they had to report on the indictment of LETITIA James, but the fact that both of their anchors were wearing the identical clothes.
I understand we have some legal breaking news.
Yeah, we have just learned that New York Attorney General LETITIA James, who obviously brought the charges and won against President Donald Trump, has just been indicted by the Department of Justice. This was a case that President Trump wanted to be brought. It's a mortgage fraud case, and it's also what led to the leaving of the U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia.
I understand we have some legal breaking news.
Yeah,
some legal breaking news. And over on Fox, this is how it unfolded.
Accused of having... New York Attorney General LETITIA James has been indicted on criminal bank fraud charges. James is being accused of having falsified records to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. We'll keep up with that story as it develops.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Yeah, let's go. Now, as you know, when they went after all of Trump's allies, they all got mugshots, even President Trump himself. Well, now it's time to see mugshots for people like Letitia James. Yeah, or we really want to see this one. This is a mugshot we want to see. Jim Comey. Or what about this guy, J.B. Pritzker? Definitely I would love to see that happen. Or maybe Brandon Johnson, right? Yep. These are all mugshots that we'd love to see. And perhaps we will, in fact, see the Letitia James ones. The James Comey one did not happen at his indictment. But Letitia James, I don't know how she's going to skirt around this one. But justice is definitely catching up to Letitia James, indicted by the Justice Department, by a federal grand jury of her peers. She committed mortgage fraud. Today is another wonderful day in America. We have once again proven that no one is above the law. Roger Stone weighing in. Evidently, a grand jury in the Eastern District of Virginia disagreed with the conclusions leaked by partisan career prosecutors and have indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James for mortgage fraud, bank fraud, and lying to a financial institution. Roger Stone, one of the greats. Now, speaking of Pritzker, yep, let's head over to Chicago because there are new developments happening in the federal siege of the city. Well, I shouldn't really call it a federal siege because, truthfully, President Trump is trying to clean up that city. We find this. A judge 2 hours ago just ruled against Trump's federalization of the National Guard. Brandon Johnson says this ruling is a win for the people of Chicago and the rule of law. He says Judge Perry echoed many of the points that we have made repeatedly. Trump's deployment is legal, unconstitutional, dangerous, and unnecessary. There is no rebellion in Chicago. There are just good people standing up for what's right. Oh, and is that what happened at Broadview when you guys attacked those ICE officers? See, the ICE officers, the National Guard is there to protect the federal officers of ICE who are just trying to do their job and get all the illegals off the street. Brandon Johnson, quote tweeting Benny Johnson, no relation. He says he's reporting for duty. Benny wrote, Mayor Johnson openly declares he's taking charge of the resistance in Chicago against federal agents.
This country. This is not about immigration. This is about a president who wants to enact authoritarianism in this country, where the rule of law doesn't apply to him and to one individual alone. And that's why I'm doing everything in my power to defend the people of this city and to lead a resistance that, quite frankly...
Leading a resistance! He is the leader of the resistance, folks.
Is desperately needed to protect our democracy and our humanity.
The White House claims, this president claims, that it's the residents of this city that need protection from the federal.
This is not about him.
Yeah, so now Brandon Johnson declares himself the leader of the resistance, a judge ruling against Trump's federalization of the National Guard. Well, guess what? I'm quite sure that is going to get overturned. Ben Waden writes, invoke the Insurrection Act. Look at this. In Chicago, 24 hours ago, ICE agents tried to detain an illegal immigrant when a crowd stepped in and blocked the arrest. And the suspect escaped. This goes on for about 4 minutes. And let's see, is this where he escapes? I don't know. they just decided to give up and let him go. Now, this is what's really, really interesting. This clip really says it all. And it's been circulating. This is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson in 2023. He's upset about Texas busing illegal aliens in. Remember that? Governor Abbott sending up the illegal aliens, saying the city couldn't handle it. Chicago Mayor Johnson in 2025 upset about Texas National Guard helping ICE remove the illegal aliens. You can't have it both ways. 2023, he's complaining about them showing up. In 2025, he's upset they're leaving. Listen to this.
People who are seeking employment. The issue is not just how we respond in the city of Chicago, it's the fact that we have a governor, an elected official in the state of Texas that is placing families on buses without shoes, cold, wet, tired, hungry, afraid, traumatized, and then they come to the city of Chicago where we have homelessness, we have mental health clinics that have been shut down and closed. You have people who are seeking employment. The governor of Texas needs to take a look in the mirror of the chaos that he is causing for this country. This is not just a Chicago dynamic. He is attacking our country.
You worried? You are worried about illegals taking jobs from Chicagoans? Well, ICE was prepared to take them away. Texas National Guard spotted in Chicago. Mario Nofal writes this morning, people in West Chicago saw something unusual. Armed Texas National Guard soldiers standing outside an immigration center run by ICE. These soldiers normally serve under the governor of Texas, but now they've been federalized, meaning the U.S. government has taken control of their mission. Their appearance comes as tensions grow between state and federal leaders over how to handle it. So here's the footage. You can see, I think it will zoom in. This looks like the Broadview facility, National Guard there, protecting the ICE facility from the deranged ICE protesters and Antifa thugs that besieged that facility for days on end. So at the moment it looks quiet. I don't think Antifa gets up early in the morning. Now, let's keep scrolling through what we've got for you. Okay, so we have this. Okay, Charles Benson is in Broadview, Illinois. This was just 4 hours ago. So this footage was from 9 hours ago, the one I just showed you of Broadview. 4 hours ago now, Charles Benson in Broadview, where the Illinois and Texas National Guard have been staged.
Well, as I'm in Broadview, Illinois, outside an ICE facility. We're just a few miles outside of downtown Chicago. As you can see behind me, there are about a dozen or more protesters at this location, as well as a large number of local media and national media. It's approaching about 2:30, and right now we're waiting to see what a federal judge has to say about the deployment of the National Guard here to help with ICE agents. The Trump administration has said those ICE agents need protection, so 200 members of the Texas National Guard and about 300 members of the Illinois National Guard have been activated and waiting to see what their orders will be. They're going to be here, according to the U.S. Northern Command, to protect ICE officers as well as federal facilities. There have been clashes and tension between protesters and federal agents. So it's now up to what that federal judge will say.
And that federal judge has ruled against Trump's federalization. I'm sure they're going to do an emergency injunction for that case. And we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, yesterday, we interviewed Mark Vargas, and I want to bring this clip back up because it's just a clip from the interview. It's not the whole thing. Because what he disclosed in that interview is absolutely critical. Because these types of interventions that Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker are doing, they are federal crimes.
Charges
Start with Donald Trump's Truth Social post. This is big stuff right here. Right here, Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. J.B. Pritzker says, I will not back down in response to President Trump. What's going on here? As someone who's covered Illinois politics, how serious is this threat?
Well, Gary, this is very serious. And if federal prosecutors were to pursue charges, there are 4 statutes in particular that could land both Pritzker and Johnson between 5 and 20 years in federal prison. Let me outline those 4 statutes for you very briefly. Number 1, 8 U.S. Code 1324, harboring or shielding illegal aliens.
Oh, my God.
8 U.S. Code 1373, restricting information sharing. 18 U.S. Code 1505, obstruction of federal proceedings. And finally, 18 U.S. Code 111, interfering with federal officers. These 4 statutes present, as many legal scholars have indicated, present a real serious problem for Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson, whose policies, whose executive orders and legislation that have been signed and enacted into law prohibiting local law enforcement from assisting federal agents, federal ICE officers, could land them in real hot water legally. Just think about it, Gary. If you or I were to do any of these things as private citizens, we'd be locked up and in jail immediately. But this is real serious consequences for both Pritzker and Johnson for the very first time, and puts them in legal jeopardy.
Start with Donald Trump. Here's what's interesting is just right as this is playing, I get a text message from Mark, and he sends me a link to the Illinois Review. I didn't have time to put it up on this on the phone here, but the headline reads, Biden appointed judge with Soros ties. Biden appointed judge with Soros ties blocks National Guard from Chicago as city remains a war zone. They write that when Chicago residents begged for help, their leader said no. And the judge who backed that decision has deep political ties reaching straight to Joe Biden and George Soros. On Thursday, U.S. District Judge April Perry, nominated by President Joe Biden in 2024, issued a stunning ruling blocking the deployment of the National Guard to Chicago. The order came as federal agents and local law enforcement face growing violence and attacks. You know, I'm going to try. Let me go ahead and I'm going to pull this up on the phone here because it's that important. I don't want to just keep reading the article without you guys being able to see it. So I'm going to send it to the show phone. X feed cell phone. Here it is. Okay, let's bring it up on screen. And here it is. Okay. Biden appointed judge with Soros ties. Let's get into it. No, I'm not installing that. I'm not installing that. All right. Okay, so this is the judge here. Perry's decision is no neutral act of judicial restraint. Her resume tells a story of deep connection to Chicago's left-wing political establishment and the very officials whose failures have plunged the city into crisis. Before ascending to the federal bench, Perry served as chief of ethics for Cook County. Does Cook County have ethics? Kim Foxx? Really? Kim Foxx. Remember, this is MAGA country, Juicy Smollett. Yeah, that was another disaster for Kim Foxx. One of the most controversial prosecutors in America, Fox, a George Soros-funded progressive, has become nationally known for her refusal to prosecute violent criminals, for dropping felony charges in the Juicy Smollett case, and for presiding over one of the worst crime surges in Chicago modern history. Under Fox's leadership, there's George. Hey, George. We need a mugshot for you next. Under Fox's leadership, homicides, carjackings, robberies skyrocketed while repeat offenders were released with little or no bail. Her office routinely declined to charge suspects, even in cases with overwhelming evidence, leaving residents terrified and neighborhoods gutted by violence. Now one of her closest former aides sits on a federal bench, blocking the very law and order response the city desperately needs. Critics point to a disturbing pattern. Soros-backed prosecutors like Kim Foxx, Larry Krasner in Philadelphia, Alvin Bragg in New York have transformed major cities into havens for repeat offenders. Their soft on crime policies have emptied jails and flooded streets with criminals, leaving victims, often children, without justice. Now, with Perry's ruling, Chicago citizens are left defenseless again. The National Guard deployment had been requested to stabilize neighborhoods where federal ICE agents and police officers had recently come under attack by mobs during enforcement operations. The Guard mission to protect federal personnel and facility. Instead, Perry's ruling effectively leaves those officers exposed and sends a message that ideology is more important than safety. So this is happening right now. The judge, unbelievable. But what we really want to see, we want to see this. We want to see this. These are the mugshots that should be next. President Trump, I know you're watching. Do it. Pull it. Make it happen. Now, we've got more news on the Chicago front. Check this out. See, this is what they're not showing you on the news. The green machine is bringing the energy to Chicago. These fine Chicagoans, check this out, got fist bumps instead of handcuffs. With Chicago's support, Operation Midway Blitz will be here until we accomplish our mission. This is how they're really being treated. That you're not going to see on CNN. These are the American people who are under siege welcoming these ICE agents and National Guard to Chicago because they know the crime is out of control.
Hey, we do that one too.
Right. How are you? Hey, I'm doing better than that, sir, I guess. Full of energy. Hey,
So I would play it, but the music in the background would probably get us flagged. But you can see, the citizens jovial, walking around. They're happy to see these folks, shaking their hands. Finally, their neighborhoods will get some relief. You won't see this on CNN. Midwest, but what happened in Aurora? Did you hear about this? Holy cow, man. This is actually not far from me. Where's that clip from Aurora? Was it Midwest Millennial? Yeah, here it is. Midwest Millennial. During an ICE operation, this is only 7 hours ago, a man was filmed striking and shattering a rear window of a federal vehicle. This is not activism. It's anarchy fueled by Democrat politicians. No identification or arrest has been confirmed by the Aurora Police Department. Watch. Oh my goodness. That is in Aurora. I mean, that's probably about 40 minutes away from me. So this is happening in the suburbs of Chicago now. Here's more, a prime example of how the far left in Chicago debates ask if it's okay to enter a country illegally, and they flip you off and turn combative.
Give me a... You don't want to answer the question.
Now, last night, as you know, we reported on the mass protests on Michigan Avenue blocking traffic. The city still stands, though. We were anticipating violent protests. As far as we could tell, there was no violence, but this happened.
You don't want to answer the question? You just want to give me the finger? Huh? I asked you a question. Would you like to give me an answer, or you just want to fight? You just want to give me the finger, huh? You just want to give me the finger. Can you answer the question? Can you answer the question? Can you answer the... Guys, can you answer the question? I just have a question for you. Is it okay to enter the country illegally? Is it okay to enter the country? Can anyone answer that question for me? So you guys just want to fight police and fight resistance. You don't want to solve anything. You don't want to solve the problem, folks. Okay, fine. Are you not him? welcome here. Yes, immigrants are welcome here.
You here illegally? Is it okay to be here illegally? Oh, all you get is the finger. At least that's all it was. President Trump, at his Antifa roundtable yesterday, weighing in on the criminality that Mr. Vargas revealed for the first time to America here. The criminality of Pritzker and Johnson.
That's illegal. Earlier today, you said the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois should be jailed. Have you asked the Justice Department to look at possible charges?
No, I've seen the law, and when you have a group of people where the police call off the safety for ICE officials, I've understood that, and I've read it today in numerous journals, that that's illegal. What they did is I guess it was ICE, Christie, right? They were under threat. And the police were helping beautifully, and it was fine. And then all of a sudden, a woman was on the line saying, everybody, move back, get out, get out. And they were given an order by the second person in the police department, and the governor knew about it, the mayor knew about it. I understand that's a criminal offense.
Earlier today.
A criminal offense, as we have disclosed here. Here is Governor Pritzker on Rachel Maddow's show.
Ask you just first about this call to your fellow governors around the country. What are you asking them to do here to support you?
Well, let's start with we should stand as one.
Ask you just first about this call to your fellow governors around the country. What are you asking them to do here to support you?
Well, let's start with we should stand as one.
I can watch that all day long, man. I love the memes. I really do. Illinois Review posting this 6 hours ago. Governor Pritzker to President Trump, if you come for my people, you come through me. So come and get me. And by my people, he means the 52,000 illegal aliens he's shielding in Illinois. Illegal aliens first, law-abiding citizens last.
Through me. There's one thing I really want to say to Donald Trump. If you come for my people, you come through me. So come and get me. There's one thing I really want to say.
It looks like that last frame, he puts his hands out in like to cuff him. Make it so, please. Make it so. This was the scene last night. Look at all those protesters. Here's the border commander, Greg Bovino, announcing 100 National Guard have arrived at the ICE facility in Chicago.
To that facility. We're really glad that the National Guard's there at that Broadview ICE facility. There's actually a lot more than 20 there. We've got 100 deployed to that facility. Oh. As you know, that facility's seen a lot of riots, a lot of violence against ICE and Border Patrol agents. We're going to put an end to that violence that you've seen at that facility. We're really glad those National Guard members are there. They're going to do a fantastic job.
All right. Well, thank you for clarifying the number.
You know, I mean, how can a judge tell the National Guard, the federal executive branch controlling the National Guard, that they have no right to protect their own federal facility? I mean, this is clearly in the federal jurisdiction. There's no question in my mind. So this Soros judge, we now know, a Soros-linked judge. My God. Well, this isn't going to last. I'm sure the injunctions have already been filed. It's going to get overturned. President Trump, the executive branch, they have the authority to do this.
Troops that are there, the number I'd gotten earlier from DHS was 20, so it looks like they've increased, which is great. Chicago and the state of Illinois are going to court to block the Guard's deployment. If you could be a voice, Chief, in that courtroom today, what would you say?
If I was in that courtroom, I would say that we have a governor and a mayor that want crime to happen in the city, that are advocates of criminal illegal aliens walking the streets of the city in broad daylight, harming American citizens, and that those same politicians are increasing violence against law enforcement, increasing riots, and increasing lawlessness. Because of that, we have to do something, and that's why you have ICE, Border Patrol, and now the National Guard to take care of business. President Trump's taking care of business because the Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson don't seem to want to.
Right.
President Trump is TCB, baby, taking care of business. 100 National Guard on the scene. Oh, Stephen Miller. Yeah, baby, let's go. Every Stephen Miller clip is fire. Let's see what he's saying.
Death. What's the Pritzker record? What's the Mayor Johnson record? Bloodbath, suffering, death, misery. You know, in just one weekend, you had over 70 people shot. 70 people shot in gun battles on the streets of Chicago. More dangerous than Mexico City, more dangerous than Baghdad, Iraq. And this is an American town. Donald Trump stands for peace. They stand for violence. And
more dangerous than Iraq. That's why they call it Chirac, folks. Here's a scene. Of course, people are going to be freaking out. Outside an elementary school during dismissal. Horrifying. What have we become? Well, we've become a lawless nation. A lawless city.
Wait, you guys came to the school and to do this? Do you have a warrant? They haven't asked for a warrant. My name is Jocelyn from Cicero. They don't have a warrant. They didn't ask for one. They forcefully opened the door of the truck. It was locked. It was locked.
You're going to record this. Don't get it closer from me, all right? Like, cool? Just stay back, please. You're being arrested for
Yeah, but you guys came to the school?
They forced us out of the car. They forced us out of the car. They were following us.
You know, it's these visuals are horrific. And my heart truly does go out to the humanity here. But here's the reality is this. If these people are here illegally, they shouldn't be here at all. That decision to cross the border illegally and not follow the steps to become a U.S. citizen, like all the other people who've done so for hundreds of years, those actions, those decisions have consequences. So when you come here illegally, you have a family, you send your kids to school, you get a job. Listen, I'm sorry that this is happening, but this is what happens when you make a decision to come here illegally. Sorry. So don't let these visuals fool you. Don't let them fool you. There's going to be visuals like this. I said this months ago when President Trump started this deportation program. I knew there would be video like this circulating all over. Mainstream media amplifying it, calling Donald Trump an authoritarian and a tyrant. But there are laws on the books. And that's what they seem to forget.
Whoa.
My sister, help me! Help me!
Please step back, please.
Whoa.
So, you F around and you're going to find out. Here's more from Stephen Miller. Democrat leaders are siding with the domestic terrorists.
Daily. Well, look, I hate to say it, Sean, but Democrat leaders are siding with the domestic terrorists. Antifa is waging, as I explained in that clip you played, daily violent assault against ICE officers. They are attempting to physically prevent ICE officers from doing their jobs, using every means imaginable, including, of course, as we saw just a few weeks ago, attempted murder. And then we saw a few days ago another attempted murder through a vehicle ramming attack. It is unceasing. Day after day, night after night, Antifa terrorists, as was explained to the event in the White House today, are trying to kill ICE officers, attack ICE officers, threaten their families, dox them, and do everything in their power to try to prevent Immigration and Customs Enforcement from getting violent criminal aliens out of this country. Now, look at what happened by contrast in Washington, D.C. When President Trump's program was put in place, when local leadership embraced the Trump plan, the Trump program, what happened, Sean? It's never been more peaceful. People have never felt more free. As President Trump said on your show tonight, they're going out to restaurants, they're going to monuments, they're taking lovely strolls in the evening with their loved ones. The only people who have lost are the criminals, the gangbangers, the drug dealers, the criminally illegal aliens. The Trump plan has brought historic safety to one of the most violent cities on earth, Washington, D.C. That's what President Trump wants for Chicago. That's what he wants for Portland. That's what he wants for Los Angeles. And yet Democrats are on the side every night of the gangbangers, the predators, and now even the domestic terrorists.
Okay, I just got this text message, another one, regarding this ruling. Now, the Insurrection Act allows the president to deploy troops to restore order during insurrection or rebellion. Now, that can be argued. I mean, look at what's happening with Antifa, these violent raids on ICE facilities. But then there's this. Drug interdiction and border support. The president can authorize the military to support or even perform domestic enforcement actions. Drug interdiction and border support statutes allow logistical or surveillance support, but not arrest or direct enforcement. So if the National Guard is outside of the Broadview facility, they're not enforcing the law. They are providing support, logistical support, so that these guys can get in and out of the facility. You've seen them blocking cars. You've seen what they're doing. So logistical surveillance, not arrests or raids, because of the limits of posse comitatus. So that's all going to come out in the wash. We'll see it very soon. We'll see. We got Bill O'Reilly weighing in. Bill O'Reilly tells Jillian Michaels why J.B. Pritzker is worse than Newsom. I did see a report. I did see something today that Newsom is in Illinois. His plane was spotted. I wonder who was guiding him in if we don't have any air traffic controllers. Anyway, let's listen to what O'Reilly is saying.
80%. I make fun of Pritzker. He's the worst governor by far. He's worse than Newsom.
Really?
But,
gosh,
believe me, this guy. And here's why he's worse. In Chicago, Cook County, it's like L.A., where you live. It's a Democratic stronghold like New York City. And for more than a decade, thousands of poor people have been murdered, mostly on the south side of Chicago, 80% African American.
I know that.
They've been murdered by drug gangs, heavily armed, younger black men who basically fight over turf. If you call the police on these gangs, they'll kill you and your family, like the cartels in Mexico. These are unbelievably evil people. Pritzker has been governor, 8 years? He's not done one thing to mitigate all of that murder. Not one thing. Yet, when Trump offers another blanket of protection for those poor black people by sending federal authorities to Chicago, as he did in D.C., Pritzker calls him a Nazi.
Same in Portland.
I mean, if that's not evil, then I don't know what evil is. I didn't have enough room to put Pritzker on the cover of my book. He's a little too hefty. And I had to get Putin in there, and I had to get the Ayatollah in there. Okay? But come on. How absurd is this?
Right.
Even if you hate Trump, you would think that another layer of protection to cut down homicides in the south side of Chicago would be welcome. No.
No spin there. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. No, this is not just another news cycle, folks. What we're witnessing is the complete unraveling of the Democrat machine that thought it was untouchable. LETITIA James spent years hunting Trump with fabricated charges. Now she's facing real federal indictments for actual fraud. In Chicago, Pritzker and Johnson are learning that defying federal laws has consequences up to 2 decades behind bars. The same people who screamed, "No one is above the law," are discovering they were right, just not the way they imagined. You see, this is what accountability looks like. This is what happens when the American people say enough. The empire that tried to destroy Trump's family is destroying itself. And you and I, we've got front row seats to the show. So here's my question. We can talk about it in the comments. Do you believe that these indictments will stick, or will the swamp protect its own? Let's have a discussion. And while you're at it, grab some gear from our Next News merch shop. It's linked down below. Pick out your favorite American badass at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Wow, that was perfect timing that Mark sent me that text message while his clip was playing. And I was able to get that information out with regard to the Soros connection. Holy cow, man. Beautiful. Now, we're going to move into the next topic. And, folks, I have to tell you that I'm really just here for the memes. You know, I mean, we're talking about the shutdown, but the memes continue to flow. I thought that the meme war was over, but it is definitely not. There have been multiple salvos in this resurgence. And we're going to play them for you, along with some hard truths. I think you'll enjoy this next segment, so don't go anywhere. Okay. Oh, do we have any super chats to speak of here? I'm going to check in. Oh, a bunch came in. Okay. Jennifer Gray dropping $5. I watch all your shows, Gary. Thank you for all you do. Much love and prayers. Thank you, Jennifer. Donna dropping $10. No comment necessary, just a show of support. Thank you, Donna. And El Shingon is back with a $10 super chat. What up, my brother? 1776 worldwide. James Fay dropping 10. N3 is the best. Ruby Hoove, what did she do? Ruby just gifted 5 Next News memberships. Yeah. Wait, and El Shingon is back with a 20 spot. Alex Jones, send his regards to you and your kitchen fans. Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, so let's get at it. Let's have some fun with this next segment, because what's coming after it is going to be a little heavier. So let's get the giggles out now, shall we? They're laughing at us while military families wonder how to buy groceries and air traffic controllers abandon their posts. Chuck Schumer admits on camera that every day gets better for Democrats. What started as a budget standoff has morphed into something darker, a deliberate attack on working Americans disguised as political gain. But patriots are fighting back with viral sombrero memes, turning Democrat arrogance into internet gold. The masks are off, the game is exposed, and MAGA is memeing them into oblivion. From Schumer's shameless bragging to empty airports, from unpaid soldiers to the rise of the memes we're about to show you, this is a political circus. This is not governance anymore. This is war. And while Chuck Schumer laughs about the shutdown, Medicare, though, is one problem that's still confusing Americans by design. Endless mailers, fine print, and pushy sales calls mean that most seniors end up working on the wrong plan without even knowing it, costing them thousands yearly. That's where Chapter comes in. Chapter makes Medicare simple. In less than 20 minutes, they'll compare every single plan available, over 24,000 nationwide, and they'll help you find one that fits you. On average, seniors who work with Chapter save $1,100 a year. That's right. Chapter's advisors, get this, they're independent. They're salaried, not paid commissions to steer you into certain plans. They work for you and not the insurance companies. Best part is the call is completely free. The annual enrollment period is here. It's happening right now, so don't wait. Call Chapter today at 910-728-4109. You can also visit askchapter.org/next, but calling 910-728-4109 is the fastest. You'll see that number on the screen. Make sure you pause this video and write it down. So what is happening? Remember that clip we played for you yesterday? Nancy Pelosi slurring on CNN. Well, somebody just, I don't know how they did this one, but this is solid gold. Nancy Pelosi wearing a sombrero, taking a big swig of wine and falling off her chair. And then down she goes. Oh, so I decided that I would join the meme war. JFK was always right.
Let us not seek the safe space answer, but the savage meme.
Oh, but I wasn't done yet. This is another moment lost to history.
With memes, we choose to offend the left with memes, not because it is easy, but because it is fun.
Oh, man. Oh, I did another one. Here's another one. A moment in history our nation will never forget.
Can do for my fellow Americans. Ask not what the memes can do for you. Ask what you can do for the memes.
Oh, yes. The memes are on fire. Here's another one. Someone made this one with AOC, Bernie Sanders. What is his name? Zamdabi or whatever. Drinking some communist Kool-Aid. Oh, here's another one. Here's another great meme of AOC. Coming soon. AOC's 600-pound life. I bring her up because you know, she's the one that's basically dictating behind the scenes now.
Almost 50. Things were good. Things were real good before Trump. Now, I eat in front of people on the internet for money. I left Washington behind. And now I make almost $50 to even $75 a day. Again, all I have to do is eat this different stuff that people want to see. It's usually food and not even garbage or dirty diapers.
Oh, the memes. I'm here for it. I think we've got another meme here, and then we're going to get to the real stuff. Sir, they're requesting you drop another sombrero meme. That was Marco Rubio giving President a message yesterday at the Antifa meeting. Day 9 of the Schumer shutdown. Liberal Democrats platform, illegal immigrants first. Free health care, free housing, free college tuition, free cell phones, free groceries, free Visa cash cards. American citizens need to cover the cost. They do not like the sombrero memes, so we will continue to give them sombrero memes. Oh, here's another sombrero meme. The shutdown has been great for the memes. Pocahontas supporters shutting the government down to fight for illegal health care for illegals. I think, oh my goodness. Maxine Waters, she's getting a sombrero now. Amy Klobuchar, she's getting a sombrero. Okay. We choose to offend the left with memes, not because it is easy, but because it is fun. That was my inspiration. Chuck Schumer, of course, wearing his sombrero. President Trump, the greatest presidential troll of all time, wearing his own sombrero. What's this one? Oh my goodness, I play the music, but this is from the Dilly Meme team. They do amazing meme work. I thought I saw, here's another one. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is horrible. President Trump wearing a sombrero. Oh no, this is from the United Spot.
Huh? Yeah, where's it? You're gonna have to learn to respect me! I'm sorry! You can stuff your sorries in a piñata, bitch! Where's the tough guy at, huh? Yeah, where's the tough guy at? The big bad wolf from the house floor? Talking all that smack on national TV? You ain't talking now, are you, bitch? I'm sorry! If Trump got something to say it to my face. Ain't that what you said? Yes, I'm sorry. Let me tag in, boss. Well, here I am. You little sombrero-wearing, pinata-faced fuck! Yeah, you pinata-faced fuck! Face to face with a little bitch motherfucker! Yeah, you little bitch motherfucker! Not so tough now, are you? I'm sorry! Trump was what? Trump was right about everything. I can't hear you! Trump was right about everything! Everything! Look at you! Crying like a little baby. Stand up straight when he's talking to you. Mr. President, I'm sorry. Oh, now I'm Mr. President? Where's the tough guy at? Yeah, where's the tough guy at? Obama told me to say that. You hear that, JD? I heard it, boss. Dollar Store Obama is getting orders from Pig Mike's husband. Lace curtain motherfucker. Are you going to open up the government? Yes, I'll do anything. No more shutdowns, no more filibusters, no more nothing. You want to stop acting like a wannabe tough guy on TV? Yes, I promise. Next time, I'm going to dunk your fucking head in a bowl of salsa. A bowl of fucking salsa. Who's the little bitch? I am. I can't hear you. I am. I don't want to talk about this again.
Oh my God, that was fire. Oh, here's more. I mean, the sombrero memes just keep coming. Oh my goodness, they're all putting on sombrero memes. Man, I wish I could play the music. Oh, AOC getting one. Oh my Lord, this is too good. This is just too good. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, I think we've got one. Was there another one? I thought I saw one with Schumer talking to Trump. And then we'll get to the other stuff here. Where's the one with Schumer talking to Trump? Oh, where did it go? I saw it earlier. Maybe it'll pop up again. Sometimes these don't load all the time. Oh, here it is. President Trump and Chuck Schumer discussed the government shutdown and memes.
Better than ever. Hi, this is Taco Bell. How can I take your order?
Donald, cut it out. It's me. You've got to take down that sombrero meme. It's embarrassing me.
Embarrassing? The sombrero makes Hakeem look better than ever.
Donald, this is serious.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll take it down if you reopen the government.
Look, I need these illegals to have health care so I can keep eating Taco Bell without feeling guilty.
There it is. You care more about illegals than you do our own citizens. You're cooking Americans the same way you cook your hamburgers. Raw, careless, and making everybody sick.
I'm begging you, Mr.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Guy Benson says, every day it gets better for us, quoting Chuck Schumer. This is what Chuck Schumer meant when he said every day the shutdown gets better for Democrats. Democrats are sick. Rapid Response says, the headline here, Democrats say even missed paychecks for U.S. troops won't be enough to end the shutdown alone. Caroline Levitt posting the transcript when it was said by Schumer. She writes that when federal workers stress over missed paychecks, military families turn to food pantries, and airports around the country face delays. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are bragging that every day gets better for them. What a disgusting and revealing statement. She writes, Democrats are gleeful about inflicting pain on the American people. So this is what she's posting as we enter the second week of the standoff. Democrats are nowhere close to buckling. In fact, top Democrats feel like they're gaining political momentum. We interviewed Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on Wednesday in his Capitol office, where the New York Democrat was as bullish as he'd ever been about his shutdown strategy. Every day gets better for us, Schumer asserted. That's all about to change, because the pressure is going to build up so horribly that the American people are going to demand that the government get reopened. House Republicans posting this just a couple hours ago. America's military families are turning to food pantries, on track to miss a paycheck. But for Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, things are getting better. Sick. An animated cartoon picture of Schumer, fire erupting behind him. Every day gets better for us. Hakeem Jeffries speaking on the government shutdown 6 hours ago outside the Capitol.
The congressional map as part of their effort to steal the midterm elections again reinforces the lack of seriousness in terms of their behavior, particularly as it relates to reopening the government or making sure that our military troops who are in harm's way are actually paid. And it's very unfortunate that their behavior continues to signal that they are uninterested in the type of bipartisan negotiations necessary to bring the Trump Republican shutdown to a close. I hope that changes. I hope it changes.
Yeah, I hope you guys just vote. Here is President Trump. He had a cabinet meeting today, in case you didn't know. This is what he had to say.
They've lost their. So we're here this morning for a cabinet meeting as my administration continues to deliver for the American people, despite the radical left lunatics that shut down our government. You have Democrats that they've lost their way. They have no leadership. We don't even know who to deal with over there. At least they know who to deal with. We have no idea who we're dealing with over there. It's like they have no idea what they're doing. Republicans have voted repeatedly to pass a clean, nonpartisan bill to reopen government at the same funding levels. We're not going to do anything only good for health care. We're really, I think, become the party of good health care. And they keep using health care as a cudgel. They want to try and get everyone thinking about health care. We're the ones that are saving health care. So we're here this morning for a cabinet meeting.
I think we have more from the cabinet meeting here. Check this out. Here's the president again.
To reopen our government. Republicans have voted repeatedly to pass a clean, nonpartisan bill to reopen our government.
Oh, man, someone's phone went off in the cabinet briefing. Oh, my goodness. Didn't he throw someone out of the Oval Office like last week for that very reason? Oh, boy. How disrespectful.
Republicans have voted repeatedly to pass a clean, nonpartisan bill to reopen our government. And remember, at the same funding levels, both parties have supported in the past. So the radical Democrats have chosen to put the economy of our country. We have the best economy we've ever had. We had the best economy in my first term, but we have an economy that's blowing it away. And we have the Democrats that are trying to obstruct. They don't want to have a good economy. I don't think they want to have a good country. That's why they try and stop our law enforcement from doing what we did in Washington, D.C. Republican.
That's all going to stop, though. Oh, here we go. Making cuts that will be permanent.
I guess that's, and we'll be making cuts that will be permanent. And we're only going to cut Democrat programs. I hate to tell you. I guess that makes sense. But we're only cutting Democrat programs. But we're going to start that. And we have Russell. We can talk to you about it if he wants to. But we'll be cutting some very popular Democrat programs that aren't popular with Republicans, frankly, because that's the way it works. They wanted to do this, so we'll give them a little taste of their own medicine, and we'll be making
a taste of their own medicine. Rapid response says Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats are completely aligned with Schumer.
Yesterday, Leader Schumer indicated that the longer this goes on, this is better for the Democrats. Do you believe, as Republicans suggest, that that's a calloused remark, that this is kind of a scorekeeping going on here?
House and Senate Democrats have been completely aligned.
Yesterday, Leader Schumer indicated that
Chuck Schumer proclaimed this morning, every day gets better for them. President Trump weighing in on that.
Having a rebellion, but Chuck Schumer proclaimed this morning that every day gets better for them. No, every day it's actually getting worse for them. And they're having a rebellion in the Democrat Party because they want to stop. And if you saw all of Schumer's, I watched last night like 10 different times over the years, he said, you can't shut down government, you can't shut down. And now he's the one that shut it down. So this is a confession that he's acting not to serve the people, but to serve the partisan interests of his party. But Chuck Schumer proclaimed this.
Every day gets better for them. And every day gets worse for the American people. Here's AG Pam Bondi at the cabinet meeting today.
We had, despite the Democrat shutdown of our government, our law enforcement officers are out there working without paychecks, round the clock, to keep and make America safe. Secretary Hegseth and I were recently in Memphis. We had 1,100 law enforcement officers in one room with us. The Memphis PD, they were the happiest to see us, don't you think, Secretary Hegseth, of anyone. We had ATF, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals. I'm not sure if our park police were there. We had Treasury, Secretary Bessent, and of course we had Secretary Nones, Homeland Security, all working together with the Guard. They were so happy to have us there. We've been making arrests left and right. So far, we made 562 arrests and seized 144 illegal guns just in the short time we've been in Memphis.
And many of these people are career criminals. And when you take them out of a place, your crime rate just goes down. These people commit crimes every single day. They're sick. And we're taking them out. In some cases, we're bringing them back to their countries where Biden allowed with the stupid open borders that we had in our country to come in. But they're being brought back to other places or they're being put in jail, but they're career criminals.
President Trump, last night alone, we made 91 arrests, 19 firearms off the streets, and one was a warrant for a homicide, and 4 sex offenders who had active warrants. One was a sex offender on a child. Everything we did in Memphis was worth it, in my opinion, for that one arrest. Think about that. We got a child rapist off the streets, but yet we've made 562 arrests and still going strong in Memphis. Just what we did in D.C. But it's because it's all of us as a team working for you to make America safe all together round the clock.
Thank you, Pam.
We're still working. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So the shutdown isn't just about policy, it's about power. Chuck Schumer literally said that every day gets better for us while our troops go unpaid. I mean, think about that. American soldiers defending our nation, air traffic controllers keeping planes safe, border agents protecting our communities, all working without paychecks while Schumer brags about political wins. But here's where it gets beautiful. Patriots are turning their arrogance into comedy gold. The sombrero memes that are flooding social media, they're not just jokes, they are a digital rebellion. MAGA has transformed Schumer's cruel celebration into the rise of the memes, exposing Democrat priorities for the whole world to see. When politicians value political points over people's paychecks, when winning matters more than military families, we've crossed a very dangerous line. So here's my question. Are the Schumer shutdown memes the most effective political weapon we've ever seen? Yes or no? Which one is your favorite? Hit those comments and check out our merch shop, and you can join the real resistance. Okay, where are we at? We got El Chingon. He gave us that 20 spot. We got Donna Bravo. Lemon character waving goodbye while winking and sending a shooting star. How cute, Donna. Thank you. $2.99. And Copo 801. So the ball game is their stupidity. Okay. All right. Thank you for the 10 spot. We are now at $102 in chat revenue. Wow. We're moving into our third topic. Let's raise the bar. Let's raise the bar. Can we go to 150 tonight? I think so. I think we will. I think we got a streak here. Let's see where we're going to go from that. Okay, let's jump into our next topic because this one's kind of messed up. This one is definitely messed up. Okay. Holy cow. This is insane. All right. Imagine waking up tomorrow and every plane in America is grounded. We haven't seen that since 9/11. But this is not from a terrorist attack. This is not because of weather, not because of mechanical failure, but because of the people who guide those planes safely to Earth. They've walked away. That nightmare is becoming a reality as the Schumer shutdown entered its second week. 16,000 flights delayed. Families sleeping on airport floors. Controllers working without pay finally said enough. At LAX, pilots are attempting to land with minimal guidance. That's code for disaster waiting to happen. From O'Hare to Newark, from Atlanta to Dallas, America's aviation system is one exhaust controller away from catastrophe. And while planes circle desperately above, Chuck Schumer is still celebrating. This is what happens when politics trumps safety. Don't look away. While families are stranded at airports nationwide, aging Americans can't afford to be struck with the wrong health coverage either. A meta-analysis of 23 controlled trials shows collagen supplements deliver real improvements in skin hydration, elasticity, and wrinkle reduction. That's why I use Ageless Multi-Collagen. It's transformed my skin with 5 types of premium collagen. I've noticed smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, plus better joint health. Grab a bag for 51% off at healthwithgary.com. The promotion includes free VIP coaching for life, a free skin nutrition ebook, 60-day guarantee, and free shipping. Go to healthwithgary.com. It's linked down in the description. The flight chaos is unfolding due to the Democrat shutdown. This is happening right now. Flight chaos unfolds. Government shutdown sparks air traffic controller shortages, delaying thousands. Patriots uphold limited government principles, praying for wise stewardship that honors our nation's hardworking families rooted in divine order. All flights delayed due to the government shutdown. They're even talking about it on CNN. Now, listen to the post. I'll say it before I play the clip. The flight delays are spreading. Staffing shortages from the government shutdown seem to be to blame. Over the last 24 hours, there have been issues in Chicago, Houston, Newark, Las Vegas, Boston, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Dallas, all major hubs. In Nashville, the air traffic facility was so undermanned, it had to close.
Let's get to CNN's Pete. New this morning, the flight delays are spreading. Staffing shortages from the government shutdown seem to be to blame. Over the last 24 hours, there have been issues in Chicago, Houston, Newark, Las Vegas, Boston, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Dallas, all major hubs. In Nashville, the air traffic facility was so undermanned it had to close for a time. The Department of Transportation says they've seen an uptick in sick calls since the shutdown began. While the Air Traffic Controllers Union has disavowed any coordinated action, they have also said the controllers were already critically short-staffed. Controllers are considered essential workers and are required to work without pay. The previous shutdown, which was the longest ever at 35 days, ended in part because 10 air traffic controllers stayed home, leading to major traffic delays. Let's get to CNN's Pete Muntean at Reagan National Airport. Day by day, this seems to be spreading, Pete.
And we're not out of the woods yet, John. You know, the FAA just issued a warning of possible staffing issues today at the Newark approach control facility that has been plagued by systems outages and staffing shortages since this spring. Day 8 of this shutdown, and it seems like we are only at the beginning. Just yesterday, there were delays due to staffing shortages at the Nashville approach control facility. Actually had to close down for a time, about 5 hours last night. Also at Chicago O'Hare due to a staffing shortage there in the control tower. Layer that on top of the fact that on Monday, the tower at Hollywood Burbank International Airport had to completely go dark, a condition known as ATC 0, because there weren't enough controllers there.
New this morning, the flight delays.
ATC 0. And meanwhile, while this is happening, Homeland Security issuing this 5 hours ago. On September 30th, ICE arrested 4 criminal illegal aliens who conducted laser strikes on a CBP helicopter. Aiming a laser pointer at an aircraft is a federal crime. This is incredibly dangerous for the aircraft personnel and for the public safety. Antifa domestic terrorists will not overrun our cities. We will bust their networks and bring every one of them to justice. This is the flyer that was posted by Rose City Counter Info. You're invited to laser tag. They say every night for weeks, we're forced to listen to the threatening rhythm of helicopter blades as the federal regime spies on us. So, you're invited to fight back. All you need is a laser. Leave home. They can see where the laser is coming from. Go to a park, a field, or some other public place, and once the clock strikes 9, unleash your beam at the copter, mask up, coordinate with friends, and throw a laser party. Let's take back the night together. We won't take many of us to the ground. It won't take many of us to ground the helicopters. They're actively trying to ground the helicopters. What if one of these crashes? You've already got shortages with air traffic controllers, and I'm sure those air traffic controllers have to coordinate with military aircraft, military helicopters. Add in this layer of chaos. Antifa pointing lasers, Homeland Security issuing warnings. This guy here, Chicago Airport, O'Hare Airport faces ground stops and major delays due to air traffic controller shortages amid government shutdown travel chaos. This is a TikTok user posting this. Let's see.
Very big news. We have some major news right now. Staffing shortages have officially hit one of the busiest airports in the entire country, the Chicago O'Hare International Airport. According to Axios News and the FAA, a ground stop is expected at the airport at around 6 p.m. local time. In addition, it'll be short-staffed between 2 p.m. local time and 11 p.m. local time, which means that there'll be more delays, cancellations, etc. This is all because of a government shutdown. A government shutdown is preventing air traffic controllers who are essential employees. They're going to have to work without pay. Many of them can't afford to do that, so they're calling off sick in increased numbers. Airports are short-staffed. Now, air traffic towers at Chicago O'Hare are not going to be completely empty like we saw at Burbank's Airport last night, but we're going to see a ground stop. We're going to see delays. This is a very big news. And it's only day 7 of a government shutdown, and not enough people are talking about it. It's going to get worse. Spread the word so more people know. Follow along for more. And if you want to support my work, subscribe to my sub.
It's going to get worse the longer this goes on. And I've said this before, that it's going to be the pressure from the American people, these families who are sleeping on the floors of airports because their flights are delayed. They're the ones that are going to be so pissed that they're going to raise hell. Here is News Radio WHAM 1180. A week into the government shutdown, 15 hours ago. Air traffic controller shortages are causing significant flight delays and cancellations across the United States. Here's a picture. Here is the picture of some of these delays. Look at all the delays. Here's the ABC News Live. And let's see what's going on here. This is ABC News Live Primetime reporting on it.
Back. John, thanks for joining us. When would you call a staffing situation dire at an airport or control tower?
When you've got a point that you don't have enough people to fill the shift and somebody is trying to work 2 or 3 positions at once, that's the time you're going to have to cut back the air traffic, or face the fact that you're actually given a less safe situation. There's no white shining line between safe and unsafe in this situation. But as you stress these controllers, who've been stressed already even before this shutdown, you increase the slide towards a lesser level of safety.
Bottom line, is it safe to fly right now?
It is safe to fly by any reasonable measure, but it is becoming a little less so every time we have a stressed tower or air traffic control facility staffed with people who are now wondering whether they're going to get paid. That is not a formula for safety.
If the shutdown continues for much longer, can you foresee airports completely ceasing operations?
Well, I can see situations where they're simply going to have to shut it down or shut down the inbound and outbound air traffic because they won't have enough people in the towers, or they won't be able to transfer the controllers and their radios to another facility. We've had that in Southern California, where some people in the facility in San Diego were able to pinch hit for I think Burbank, but that's one of the examples that I think is going to get worse. We have always been understaffed in air traffic control ever since 1981, and this makes it just 10 times worse.
John,
10 times worse. Now, I think we've got a clip here. Okay, this is LAX going silent 2 days ago. Los Angeles International Airport operated without air traffic controllers due to the ongoing U.S. government shutdown. Flights delayed, rerouted, or grounded as pilots coordinated landings with minimal guidance, relying on emergency protocols and regional support. The FAA confirmed the lapse was caused by staffing shortages linked to suspended federal operations. Critics are calling it a dangerous failure of governance, with ripple effects expected across the national aviation grid. More than 16,000 flights have been delayed this week as air traffic controllers work without pay and airports struggle with staffing. Here's Robert Reich with an interesting take. He says there's one group that could be responsible for ending the shutdown, air traffic controllers. Let's listen to his take. I haven't heard this yet. I have an idea where he's going, but I haven't heard it.
Stopped it essentially. Well, I'll tell you how the
shutdown.
Shutdown.
That's
is
what I
gonna
want to
end.
start with.
The shutdown is going to end, I believe, with air traffic controllers.
So tell us why. The past.
The long shutdown that occurred at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, it went for 35 days. It was a record length. This was under Trump. What stopped it essentially was air traffic controllers starting to call in sick. Remember, they're not being paid.
Right.
They're under a lot of stress.
They're already overworked. We've seen so many examples. We know
right now they're even more overworked than they were in 2019. Their pay has been stagnant when they were being paid.
And there have been layoffs.
And they're not being paid. And a lot of them are at the end of their ropes in terms of their ability to function. So will a few of them...
60-hour weeks.
60-hour weeks. Will a few of them call in sick? Probably. Are they actually sick? Maybe.
Yeah.
But all you need is a small percentage to call in sick. And what happens is what happened in January of 2019. There's a cascade effect of delays, flight delays across America. And once you get some delays, more and more delays. And what happened in January of 2019 is passengers started calling their members of Congress.
Right.
They were so upset. And Wall Streeters.
That's it. So
Because
it's people like me visiting my mom, but it's also the G6s with
the private jets
Oh.
also are reliant on the air traffic controllers, and those private jets are also delayed or they can't take off. and they call in to their members of Congress and their senators, and within hours Trump ended that shutdown, and he didn't get what he wanted. He did not get funding for his wall.
Oh, wow. Trump caved last time. Oh, boy, this is a standoff, folks. And right now, with the way that these air traffic controllers, I mean, this is worse than it was then. But he brings up a good point about the Wall Streeters and the financial elite with their private jets not being able to get off the ground. Now, of course, regular constituents like you and me, we'll call our member of Congress. We'll call up our senator's office, complain. But when you're talking about people with billions of dollars in their bank account, super donors making phone calls, sometimes those guys actually pick up the phone and they cave in. So how long is this going to go? I don't know. Reuters reports as the U.S. government shutdown continues, frustrated TSA agents and air traffic controllers are calling in sick, leading to delays. Travel plans are being canceled as passengers brace for worsening airport service.
These systems. Well, the impact on air travel from the shutdown is going to actually change over time. It really depends on how long the shutdown lasts. For example, at airport security screening, the TSA officers are still going to be there. They're not going to be paid until the shutdown ends, but they are still going to be there. The same thing applies to air traffic controllers. So for the typical traveler, you're not going to see much change for the next several days or maybe even a week. But as the shutdown progresses, if it continues for a longer period of time, what we're going to start to see is an erosion of the service. In particular, these employees, the air traffic controllers, the TSA officers at airports may start to call in sick. They're going to get tired. They're going to get frustrated, and they want to get paid. And as a result of that, we're going to start to see a very gradual but noticeable degradation of in fact, the performance in these systems. And that's when you're going to see delays in terms of airport screening. You're going to see delays in flights. And if you bring in weather issues, all of these things will convolute, and we're going to end up with a lot of unhappy travelers. Well,
they're holding us all hostage. There's another clip here. Okay, here. Representative Josh Williams, 11 hours ago, writes, the Democrat shutdown is causing flights to be delayed at the airport in Columbus. Air traffic controllers, TSA agents currently working without pay. If Ohioans have a painful travel experience this week, be sure to thank Democrats like Representative Marcy Kaptur.
So
The board behind me here at the Columbus airport shows some flights are leaving late and coming in late this afternoon. But federal officials warn we could see more delayed flights as the government shutdown continues. It's the word no traveler wants to see when heading for their flight.
We got in the car and then I saw the notification that it was delayed 30 minutes already, so.
Especially when trying to catch a connecting flight for a big trip.
Probably our biggest fear is maybe missing that flight that's going to get us overseas.
Thomas and Bill are off to see the Wizard at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
So I wanted to make sure we got here in time.
They're hoping to avoid any travel snafus on their way back, already planning their next trip.
Probably win a lot of money going to Hawaii.
But the longer the shutdown continues, travel experts warn the bigger the impacts at the airport.
We could see, again, cancellations and delays or longer TSA lines, just sort of travel troubles because of a government shutdown. But there's no guarantee that that will happen.
The government shutdown in late 2018 to early 2019 lasted 34 days. It led to widespread delays due to staffing shortages.
So we wouldn't advise anyone change or make drastic plan changes anytime soon. But if you do have travel towards the end of the month, this is when you might want to reconsider about what form of travel you're taking, if you can drive versus fly.
Federal airport officials, including TSA agents and air traffic controllers, are working right now with the board behind me here at the Columbus airport.
And I wanted to go to the White House this month. I don't think I'll be going if this air traffic control system is still having issues. Maybe I'll just have to drive. Secretary Sean Duffy writes, I'm encouraging air traffic controllers to show up for work during this shutdown, but when I talked to them, they were stressed out and thinking, how do I put food on the table? How do I pay my mortgage if my paycheck doesn't come through? He was on CNN with Turd Tapper.
They need to go to their, well, let's say, who's using them as pawns, right? I'm encouraging air traffic controllers to show up for work. They need to go to their jobs. They need to, control the airspace. The problem is, when I've talked to them, they are stressed out. They are wondering, how do they put food on the table? How do they pay their mortgages if their paycheck doesn't come through? Well,
PBS News, thousands of flights have been delayed across the country as the government enters its second week of shutdown. Secretary Duffy also appearing on Fox.
Paychecks. They're frustrated that Chuck Schumer is putting illegal immigrants in their health care over their paychecks, putting illegals over Americans. And they're like, you know what? We're going to call in sick today. I don't like it. They all have to come to work. They all should come to work. But this is a lash out at Democrats for, again, putting non-Americans ahead of American hardworking citizens.
We got something else here from Right Angle News. What is this? Delta Airlines facing massive backlash as customers boycott and demand refunds after the airline refused to take action against a pilot and a DEI flight attendant who removed an elderly man from a flight for wearing a MAGA hat. Oh, here's video. Lovely.
Where's the captain? Is he still right there? The captain? Still right there?
Sorry? Oh, that's really fine.
Just 1 second. He'll be right back.
So right now I've been asked to step off the plane because of my hat. Can you believe that? So now I'm waiting for the captain to have a word with me, and I'm flying Delta, and I went on there and sat down, and I haven't said a word to anybody. I haven't done anything, but because of my hat, they asked me to step off a plane. So anyhow, I'm waiting for the captain. He'll be here shortly. That's why I'm videoing.
Thank you so much.
And I'm doing something wrong? I've never done nothing wrong. Why?
No. If you can't comply with the simple instruction of removing the hat.
The lady next to me asked to take a picture of me, so I put it back on. She was taking pictures for her daughter, and the next thing you know, they come right back over there again.
I don't know all the specifics. I'm just saying, I'm giving you the option, okay? Either you keep the hat off and you follow the instructions of the flight attendants, because in the case of an emergency, how do I know, based on this simple little issue, that you would follow their instructions in an emergency? I'm an ultra conservative.
That'd be like coming up to me and saying,
I'm probably more ultra MAGA than you are, okay? I'm just saying that right now, I got to make sure that
Donald Trump signed 2 of these for me across there. He thought it was hilarious. Everybody thinks it's hilarious. So somebody's got their panties in a wad over my hat.
Exactly.
And I'm out here, a businessman, well recognized amongst all the high. I mean, I can call the governor on the phone right now, Georgia. That's people I know. And I'm out here being questioned like I'm a troublemaker. Or,
No.
These people are going to be looking.
We just want to make.
Wow. Stay out of the airports, folks. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, this isn't just about flight delays. It's about planes falling from the sky. When air traffic controllers can't pay rent, when TSA agents skip meals, when pilots are landing jets with minimal guidance at LAX, we are not witnessing incompetence. We are courting disaster. The Schumer shutdown has turned our skies into a game of Russian roulette. 16,000 flights delayed today could become 16 crashes tomorrow. Controllers are walking off the job because they can't feed their families. The radar screens going dark aren't just inconvenient. They are potentially deadly. And Schumer's response, every day gets better for us. That's not leadership. That's criminal negligence. They're gambling with American lives to score political points. The system that safely moves 2.9 million Americans daily is breaking down. And one mistake could mean hundreds dead. So here's my question. How many planes have to crash before Democrats end their shutdown? Let me know. And grab some next news gear. We've got a red hat I think you'll enjoy. And you can demand accountability before tragedy strikes. Chaos, dude. How many planes? That's the fear. You're going to get an overworked air traffic controller, and it's just going to be a freaking disaster. Okay. Let's see. Where are we going from here? Were there some more super chats? There was. It looks like. Janie. We're at 107 now. Janie, is it me or does Pritzker look like the Hamburglar? Oh, Janie, you have just created a meme. You have birthed a meme. Oh, I know what I'm doing after the show. I know exactly what I'm going to do after the show. I wish I could figure out a way to do it while I'm here. I know I could probably do it while I'm here. But, okay. Anyway. Janie, you got me. I love it. Okay, now we're going to move into some beautiful news. Oh, I'm just thinking about that meme, though. Thinking about that meme. I love the memes. Okay, hang on, I got to get myself together here. The impossible just became reality. While the world watched in disbelief, one man picked up the phone and ended a war that experts said would rage for years. Every hostage home, every family reunited. The bombs have stopped falling. The killing has ended. From Jerusalem to Washington, from Cairo to the UN, diplomats are stunned. Even his harshest critics are admitting what we have known all along. This president doesn't just talk about peace, he delivers it. The same man they called a warmonger has just achieved what Obama, Biden, and decades of career politicians couldn't. This is history in the making. Now, if you didn't know this yet, gold has gone mainstream. You're seeing it everywhere, and prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's simple and safe and built for the long run? Well, that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Noble Gold specialists are trained to help investors just like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and U.S.-based service. You're not calling an Indian call center, okay? This team has handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it is their commitment. Visit nextnewsgold.com and claim your free wealth protection kit and see if you qualify for that silver bonus. Hit the link down below, nextnewsgold.com. Noble Gold's going to help you build a stronger future. Or you can call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347, and tell Colin that Gary said hello. Now, here is, we're witnessing history, folks. This is Senator John Fetterman is leading the committee to get Trump the Nobel Peace Prize.
We'll see what happens. Do you think the president deserves a Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, if this sticks, I think the whole point of having a Nobel Peace Prize is for ending wars and promoting peace. And I'm going to make a direct appeal to the president. I hope he chooses to provide the tomahawks to the Ukrainians too, and give them the tools that they need to push back against Russia. And if he brings the Ukrainian war to its end, I'll be the Democrat leading the committee for his Nobel Prize Peace for ending both of these terrible wars.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Senator, do you think the president deserves a Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh, and then there's this. Check this out. Barack Obama posted this 7 hours ago. After 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for Israeli families and the people of Gaza, we should all be encouraged and relieved that an end to the conflict is within sight, that those hostages still being held will be reunited with their families, and that vital aid can start reaching those inside Gaza whose lives have been shattered. And, of course, he doesn't mention President Trump, but even Barack Obama says we should be encouraged and relieved. Here's President Trump in the Oval Office talking about the Nobel Peace Prize. If you recall, we reported a couple of weeks back 40,000 Cambodian monks nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize. The Cambodian Prime Minister nominating President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. It's happening all across the world. Fetterman, right? Let's listen to how the president's reacting to this news.
And I've stopped. I know this, that nobody in history has solved 8 wars in a period of 9 months. And I've stopped 8 wars. So that's never happened before. But they'll have to do what they do. Whatever they do is fine. I know this. I didn't do it for that. I did it because I saved a lot of lives. And that's the thing that bothers me so much about the Russia-Ukraine. 7,000 people are dying a week. Young soldiers. They're almost all soldiers of Ukraine and Russia. So in theory, it doesn't affect us, no, but it's a terrible thing. And we'll get that solved too. But nobody has ever done 8 wars. Nobody's done 8 wars in 30 years, let alone 9 months. I know that.
He deserves it. There's no question. President Trump posting this on Truth Social, MAGA Voice, amplifying it. President Trump brokered the most impossible peace deal the world has ever seen. Nobody thought this was possible. Here's what he wrote. I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon. Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first step towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who will work with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Fetterman, of course, leading the charge. President Trump, Caroline Leavitt, saying President Trump is the peace president. Let's see. Is this the same? No, this is in the cabinet meeting. It was also brought up.
Created, last night we reached a momentous breakthrough in the Middle East, something that people said was never going to be done. We ended the war in Gaza and really, on a much bigger basis, created peace. And I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace. Peace in the Middle East. We secured the release of all of the remaining hostages, and they should be released on Monday or Tuesday. Getting them is a complicated process. I'd rather not tell you what they have to do to get them. There are places you don't want to be, but we are getting the hostages back on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, and that'll be a day of joy. I'm going to try and make a trip over. We're going to try and get over there, and we're working on the timing, the exact timing. We're going to go to Egypt, where we'll have a signing, an additional signing. We've already had a signing representing me, but we're going to have an official signing. Last night.
And a friend of mine, a colleague at the White House, let me know that he is likely going to be traveling with the president on that historic trip. So we'll have some inside information as that trip progresses. Here is Secretary Rubio in the cabinet meeting today.
I don't know if one day perhaps the entire story will be told about the events of yesterday, but suffice it to say, it's not an exaggeration that none of it would have been possible without the President of the United States being involved. It really began with your trip to the Middle East, where these relationships were forged with partners in the region, personal relationships, close relationships that created the foundation where all of this was possible. Where I think this really took a turn. Remember, a month ago, I never thought this was possible. I don't know if one day perhaps.
Little Marco says, a month ago, I never thought this was possible. Here is more from Little Marco.
To say it's not an exaggeration that none of it would have been possible without the President of the United States being involved. Were forged with partners in the region. Where it really took a turn about a month ago, less than a couple weeks ago, is when we were at the United Nations. And you convened a historic meeting, not simply of Arab countries, but of Muslim-majority countries from around the world, including Indonesia was there, Pakistan was there, and created this coalition behind this plan. Then on that following Monday, you met with the Prime Minister of Israel here, and that plan was presented. And then, of course, our great negotiating team followed up on it. In the interim, again, perhaps the stories will be told, perhaps they will never be told. The president had some extraordinary phone calls and meetings that required a high degree of intensity and commitment and made this happen. And I think what's important to understand is that yesterday what happened was really a human story. There's a geopolitical aspect to it, there's no doubt about it. It creates the conditions for Gaza to one day be a normal place again and people to have a better life and Israelis to be safe. But yesterday was a human story. And because of the work you put in, and honestly, not only is there no other leader in the world that could have put this together, Mr. President, but frankly, I don't know of any American president in the modern era that could have made this possible. Because of the actions you have taken unrelated to this and because of who you are and what you've done and how you're viewed. And this weekend, because of that, at some point very soon, we are going to see 20 living human beings emerge from the darkness into the light for the first time in 2 years. And that is because...
Amen, man. Amen. Finally. President Trump, they've asked me to speak at the Knesset, and I've agreed to do it.
Well, they asked me to speak at the Knesset, and I've agreed to. If they would like me to, I will do it. It's the first time a president has ever done that, so that makes it very interesting, right? Yeah. But yeah, so I will do it if they want me to. They have asked me.
There is a rate proposed community note on that. Should we look? Let's see what it says. The claim that no U.S. president ever addressed the Knesset is inaccurate. Clinton, George W. Bush, and Obama did so during their respective presidencies. Okay. All right, fine. Whatever. Okay, so here is President Trump talking about the phases of the deal.
Once the hostage... Looking Looking ahead, what guarantees Hamas disarms and that Israel doesn't resume bombing once the hostages
well,
are
the first
released?
thing we're doing is getting our hostages back, okay? And that's what people wanted more than anything else. They wanted these hostages back that have lived in hell like nobody has ever even dreamt possible. And after that, we'll see. But they've agreed to things, and I think it's going to move along pretty well.
Looking ahead, what guarantee?
Okay, ABC News reporting something here. Martha Raddatz.
No question that. Tell us about the role President Trump played in bringing all of this about. Well, Robin, there's no question that if this goes as planned, if we see those remaining hostages freed and Israel begin its withdrawal, it is a remarkable achievement, and President Trump most certainly deserves credit for his role. He has done this through diplomacy, pressure, and the sheer force of his personality and persistence. He dispatched diplomats again and again, made threats just in the last few days to Hamas, saying again if they did not sign the deal, all hell would break loose. And they had the bombing of Iran as an example of that. But perhaps most importantly, he pushed Benjamin Netanyahu in ways his predecessor and others have not, Robin. And what finally got the two sides to this point? And will it be able to get phase 2 off the ground? Well, you know, Robin, throughout this process, President Trump never wavered in his support for Israel. But when Netanyahu ignored much of what Trump was trying to accomplish by continuing to bomb over the last few months, Trump laid down the hammer with Netanyahu, essentially saying enough is enough. Trump had also told Netanyahu that he was opening indirect negotiations with the Iranians, which put even more pressure on the Israeli prime minister. Obviously, the coming days will prove whether the rest of the plan comes to fruition. But if those hostages are freed, which would leave Hamas without their major bargaining tool, this is a huge moment for Donald Trump. Robin.
No way for the fake news to spin that. No way at all. Rapid response: posting tariffs had brought peace to the world. President Trump says, I'm telling you, they've brought peace to the world using tariffs as leverage. ABC's Selena Wang: this is an enormous moment for the world, but also for this administration, a big win for the president, who has been very personally involved in this. Wow, ABC really singing the praises. The president of peace. David Ignatius on MSNBC. The deal that POTUS is announcing played a key part in negotiating a significant change. President Biden, who preceded him, was unable to find a way to stop it. There's no way that I can see that this would have been done without Trump's pressure. I mean, even on MSNBC, they're admitting the failures of Joe Biden and giving credit where credit is due. More. I mean, Rapid Response is posting mainstream news clips. This is crazy. Presidential historian John Meacham: all credit to President Trump and his unconventional team.
One with whom you one of the things about honesty and citizenship and a sense of I would say maturity about what people in a democracy should do is, even if someone with whom you disagree about 99 things does the 100 really well, you should say so, because that's what intellectual honesty is. And so all credit to President Trump and his, as you say, unconventional team. But if he takes an unconventional team, that's fine, right? I remember once asking the senior President Bush after something terrible had happened. It's a sign of something that I can't remember what it was after he'd been president. Something had happened in the Middle East. And I said, this is a man who spent decades dealing with this. I said, Mr. President, do you think this ever gets resolved? And he said, God, I don't know. That's what one of the most experienced diplomatic presidents in American history thought, is that it was an unknowable thing. One of the things about...
wow, mainstream media singing Trump's praises. This is remarkable, folks. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this changes everything. While Democrats shut down our government and ground our planes, President Trump just proved what real leadership looks like. He didn't send troops. He sent negotiators. He didn't drop bombs. He picked up the phone. Now every hostage is coming home. Families are reuniting. The killing has stopped. Even ABC News admits it's remarkable. Even Democrat Senator Fetterman wants to give him a Nobel Prize. Remember, Obama got his Peace Prize for promises. Trump earned it with results. No wars started, multiple wars ended. Peace through strength isn't just a slogan anymore. It is Trump's legacy. While Schumer plays games with paychecks, Trump's playing chess on the world stage and winning. So here's my question. Do you think that Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize more than Obama? Yes or no? Drop your answer below and visit our merch shop and wear your support for the president who actually delivers peace. Okay. We had one super chat come through from Jane Morrison. $2. Thank you, Jane. All right. We're going to move right along to our final topic of the night because it's chaos in California. Seems like there's always chaos in California. But this one is particularly crazy. Let's see. Viral meltdowns. My. Let's see here. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what this is all about. California thought it couldn't get worse than Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newscomb. They were dead wrong. The Democrat frontrunner to replace him just exposed herself as a walking nightmare, caught on camera in an unhinged tirade, text messages revealing sadistic cruelty to grieving staff, and statements about children that should disqualify her from any position of power. She fired a staffer whose Navy friend was murdered during their grief. She screams obscenities at employees. She tells her 12-year-old daughter horror stories about horrible things. She calls a certain thing that sickos like with kids an identity. This isn't a campaign. It's a psychiatric emergency that's playing out in public. The woman who wants to run California can't even run her own emotions. So brace yourself. And while Katie Porter melts down in California, aging Americans deserve better than meltdowns over their health. A meta-analysis of 23 controlled trials shows collagen supplements deliver real improvements in skin hydration, elasticity, and wrinkle reduction. That's why I use Ageless Multi-Collagen. It's transformed my skin with 5 types of premium collagen. I've noticed smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, plus better joint health. Grab a bag for 51% off at healthwithgary.com. It includes free VIP coaching for life, an ebook, a 60-day guarantee, and free shipping. Don't let your health implode. Visit healthwithgary.com. So this woman, Katie Porter, got on my radar yesterday, and it just continues to implode. It is clown world in California. Leadership is revealed in how people treat those around them. In a recently surfaced video, Katie Porter is seen shouting at one of her staffers during a recording, telling them to get out of her effing shot. It's a brief moment, but it says a lot about temperament and respect. These are not just bad days. They're glimpses into how a person handles pressure and power. Californians deserve leaders who set an example, not those who create chaos behind the scenes. Yeah, it's always in the eyes, right? It's always in the eyes. Katie Porter. Now, we have some of these clips here. There's a longer clip, but this is the moment. It was happened in 2022. Politico broke the story. A clip of California governor candidate Katie Porter calling, I even say in the word, pedophilia an identity is going viral following her botched interview on CBS.
Really because of this allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. This allegation of
And then there's a meltdown on, what was it? Meltdown on CBS? ABC? CBS. I think we have that here. Before I get to the crazy clip. Is this it? Normal emotional people watch this and think that Katie Porter is an orgish bully.
You asked me about every...
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This
Did
is
you
not.
see what she did there? Who's getting argumentative?
If you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessary.
Look at her. She puts both of her hands up. Wow.
Thoroughly argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care.
Follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation, which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just... What do you say to the 40% of California...
Total disaster. Fox News covering that disaster moment.
Plunge campaign. Frontrunner Katie Porter is facing growing calls to exit the California governor's race. Those calls...
Oh, she won't. She's too arrogant. She'll never back out. There's no way in hell. Not a person like that. No way.
Sparked by viral videos, not one, but now there's more than one, of Porter having full-blown meltdowns. Here's a taste.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do...
Politico with this headline, Katie Porter's viral videos plunge campaign into disaster. It quotes a veteran Democrat strategist as saying, is this a disaster? Yes. And the reason it's a disaster is because it amplifies what her reputation already is. Interesting. Let's learn more. William Lajeunesse is in line.
Okay. So we showed you the one. This is when she yells at a staffer, "Get out of my effing shot."
When you replace you ready for stat number 2?
I am.
All right. $632. $632, which is how much you save.
Okay, so if you look in the background by that wall, which would be on the right side of your screen, you can see a staffer moving around. Watch your eyes.
In fuel and maintenance costs when you replace your traditional car with an EV, with an electric vehicle. So I lease a Chevy Bolt. It is the best car that I have ever owned. I just plug it into the garage, 3-hole prong plug, and I never have to go to the gas station.
That's awesome. And $632 is real money. And I know here at UCI, we have a National Fuel Center Research Center, and they're also doing work on how to make electric vehicles affordable, including for low and moderate income people, working moms, single moms like me, people who really could benefit from an extra $632 in their pocket. And it's also not just the individual savings, but it's also the total savings for our economy. So I'm on the oversight committee, you might know, and that is where we did a study recently this fall in September. And what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems. And the state could lose get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again with electric vehicles saving us money.
Perfect.
Okay.
You ready for stat number 2?
Yeah. Meltdowns are happening. Robbie Starbuck comments, if a male Republican politician did this, media would be demanding that he resign and take anger management classes. They'd also have about 3,000 think pieces on toxic masculinity for a Democrat like Katie Porter. Politico held it until after the 2024 election. So openly crooked. Here's the headline. Katie Porter's viral videos plunge campaign into disaster. Mike Benz writes, the DNC frontrunner for governor of California. If California was not already on track to drift into the sea, this woman is practically summoning a biblical demand for it. This is when she called being a pedo an identity. Andrew Kaczynski. Never a good thing when you have a canned I mean to my staff statement. This is how she's responding to this. In a statement on the video of her berating a staffer, she said, "It's no secret I hold myself and my staff to a high standard, and that was especially true as a member of Congress." She went on to say, "I have sought to be more intentional in showing gratitude to my staff for their important work." If that line sounds familiar, it's because Porter's camp has used a version of it before in response to past coverage of her management style. "It's no secret that I hold myself and staff and Congress to a high standard." That's what she told the Washington Post in 2023. Continuing, "As I've served in Congress, I have sought to be more intentional at demonstrating my gratitude for my staff for the important work they do in service to our country." Just rehashing lines. Sheriff Chad Bianco says another narcissist candidate leading in California governor race, discussing the train wreck of Katie Porter, and has to remind her that, well, listen.
And it's what exactly did we see here in this video? And there's been a number of other videos of this candidate who supposedly is the leading Democrat in the California governor's race.
And we saw what we know here in California from Katie Porter is an absolute train wreck. She's been a train wreck forever. She claims she's a leader. She's not. She doesn't like the people around her. She doesn't like her family. She doesn't like the people that work for her or that she works with. And she's showing it now. And we're finally seeing all of this. And I do have to remind her that pedophilia is a crime. And we in California are absolutely sick of this left agenda that wants us to somehow believe it's not.
I mean, you hear this, and then even beyond the disgusting things that she's saying, you also hear the way that she's berating her own staff in some of these videos that have come out, she's berating reporters. I mean, this seems like someone who is a classic narcissist. And I mean, I got to say, you know, you guys already have one of those as governor. It hasn't been going so well.
Yeah, she is definitely Gavin Newsom 2.0, and you kind of hit it on the head. She is the epitome of what the Democrat Party is right now. They are, every single one of them are complete narcissists, either truly or just by accident. They've fallen into that lifestyle, if you will, because they've been enabled for so long to say whatever they want, lie about whatever they want. The press can't question them because there is no follow-up questions. And we just saw with that interview that when there is a follow-up question, the agenda just completely falls apart because it's based on lies, it's based on emotion and not fact or the actual reality that California is living. So she represents the California Democrat Party here, and I love it. She's my biggest supporter right now.
What exactly?
If you got value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. You see, this is what terminal Trump derangement syndrome looks like. Katie Porter screaming, "Get the F out of my shot," at terrified staffers, firing employees during their darkest hour. A staffer whose Navy friend was just murdered, telling her own child twisted fantasies, calling the P word a gender identity while running for governor, saying inflation means we need more abortions. This woman isn't just unfit for office, she's unfit for society. Even her own party is abandoning ship. Betty Yee begging her to quit, journalists walking out of interviews, Sheriff Bianco having to explain what crime is. The fact that she's leading the Democrat Party tells you everything about California's collapse. She makes Newsom look stable. She makes Maxine Waters look composed. She's not a leader. She's a liability with a law degree. So here's my question. Should Katie Porter be getting help instead of running for governor? Yes or no? Let's have a conversation. And grab some merch on your way out and stand against this madness. Squeeze-a-lot's back. What's up, man? That's a leader. $5. Lead the lunatics into the ocean. I'll help raise funds to chum the water. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, man. What a show, folks. What a show. Gary, call them PDF files. Oh, that's good, Sue. That's good. Biblical. They don't want to know the dunpess of their doing. A chunt. She needs a padded cell. It looked like Jim Belushi in that last shot. She makes a good case for the drunk goggles. Ooh. No way. No way. Karen Finley, thank you. She'll be working with Stacey Abrams at some corrupt nonprofit. Yeah, probably. James Bond 007, Mission in Hell. I need to look up Chum. She needs help. God bless Gary, Angie, Brian, Todd, Thomas, and Brett, and everyone here at N3. Thank you, Mrs. Potty Kenny. A liter, more like a metric ton. Oh, that's funny. Thank you, sir. Michael Alfaro and Gary Franchi, you are Cambodian people's heroes. Thank you, Mara. Thank you. Bob Hall, Pritzker. If she was your blood relative, would you get a transfusion? Ooh. You'll need a bigger boat, Gary. Oh, you guys are on fire. Oh, better live in a desert land than with a contentious and vexing woman. Proverbs 21:19. Oh, that's great. She's got a 5 head, not a 4 head. Oh, man. I got free pizza delivered. They hit the wrong address. Oh, nice one, Karen. Feel better, Gary. Yeah, my headache, the ibuprofen kicked in, and my headache subsided. So, but I got more work to do. I got to connect with the post-production team and get these segments cut for you guys. Thank you, Patricia. All right. So, what a show. From the towers of corruption crumbling in New York to the streets of chaos in Chicago, from grounded planes to freed hostages, we've witnessed history unfold before our eyes. Let's recap this incredible day. LETITIA James, the architect of lawfare against President Trump, now faces federal indictment for the very crimes she falsely accused him of mortgage fraud, and bank fraud. The hunter has become the hunted, and justice has never tasted sweeter. In Chicago, the green machine rolls on. 100 National Guard troops now patrol the streets while Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson stare down potential 20-year prison sentences. Their crime? Obstructing federal law enforcement and protecting illegal aliens over American citizens. The sanctuary city experiment has become a federal case study in criminal conspiracy, but a judge blocking President Trump's National Guard from keeping the people safe. No doubt there will be injunctions, probably filed already. Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer's shutdown circus continues its devastating march. 16,000 flights delayed, military families without paychecks, air traffic controllers abandoning their posts, creating genuine danger in our skies. And what's Schumer doing? Bragging that every day gets better. Well, MAGA supporters turn his callousness into comedy gold with sombrero memes. For him, political wins. For the TSA agent skipping meals, or the soldier wondering about rent, it's a nightmare. But through the darkness, the light does shine from the Middle East. President Trump has done what decades of diplomats called impossible, ended the war in Gaza, bringing every hostage home. No bombs, no invasions, just old-fashioned American strength and deal-making. Even Democrats like Fetterman are calling for his Nobel Prize. Remember, Obama got one for promises. Even Obama is praising the situation. Definitely, though, Trump earned his with peace. In California, Katie Porter's gubernatorial dreams have become a public horror show, screaming, "Get the F out of my shot" at terrified staff, firing a grieving employee whose Navy friend was murdered, calling PDF files a identity, traumatizing her own daughter with horrible fantasies. The woman who wants to lead the Golden State is having a complete mental breakdown in real time, making even Gavin Newsom look stable by comparison. So to everybody who sent in Super Chats and Rumble Rants tonight, you guys are the raw feed. Your voices matter. Your support keeps us going when big tech tries to silence us. So thank you for standing with us, standing with truth, when, of course, lies are easier. Thank you for demanding accountability when corruption runs deep. Before we go, remember, this isn't just about today's headlines. It's about tomorrow's America. Will we let the Schumers and the Porters and the James of the world drag us into their abyss? Or will we stand up? Will we speak out? And will we take our country back? Make sure you grab some gear in the merch shop. Show the world you're awake and watching. You're not backing down. Tell your friends. Keep telling them about the raw feed. Share tonight's show. Break through their algorithms with truth. This is Gary Franchi reminding you, revolution isn't coming. It is here. And you are a part of it. We'll see you next time on the raw feed. Stay free, America.